almost forgot to bring you with me. Well, hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I just want to talk about the Nikon D750. This video actually kind of comes on a bit of a special request from one of my subscribers over in Scotland. He's actually stuck in lockdown at the moment. He's actually just bought a Nikon D750. He hasn't had an opportunity to go out. He sent a message on one of my videos recently, and he said he would like a bit of a landscape challenge where he'd like to see what the D750 could do in a landscape photography situation. So I thought, why not grab my D750, head out to my favourite lake here and go and get some shots and see how we go. Got a bit of a nice afternoon for it. There's actually a bit of a storm coming in from the west. I'm just tracking that on my phone at the moment, so might turn out to be a good thing, but it could also turn out to be a bad thing. But anyway, I'll see how I go. You've got to be in it to win it. You've got to be out, and you've got to be enjoying it. Now, John mentioned in his comment to me at the end, he said, you know, it might be a good opportunity to really talk about the D750 and, you know, is it really relevant to hold up in 2021 compared to other cameras? That's a very good point. The D750, now, of those of you who watch my channel pretty much know that my D850 is my main camera of choice. My D750 is actually a backup camera, and seriously, I've hardly used it. I only use it mainly for doing my wife's food photography for her ebooks. I use it for portrait photography, but it's a fantastic camera. And those who own the D750 pretty much know it is a great camera. But with the likes of things like, you know, the Nikon Z6, particularly the Z6 II now, what camera should you really buy? Just using Photo Pills. It's a really good app. Just letting me know exactly where the sun's going down. It's telling me that it's basically going to go right down on the peak of this mountain, so it just really helps me get a composition. So what I'm actually doing at the moment, I'm just walking around and I'm just using the D750 in live view mode, and it just helps me to get a frame basically. So I've got an idea what I want to do. It's just I'm basically fine-tuning the frame now. I'm just moving around and just looking to get these sticks in the foreground just right. So just sussing out this little composition that I've got here. I've got this little dead tree, got my D750 all set up, and I'm watching this storm cloud roll in, and I've got an idea where I might go for a long exposure. Now, to stop any sort of light leakage ruining the shot, you need to cover up your back viewfinder. That's very easy to do on your Nikon D850. You just got to flip up your switch there and it just closes the viewfinder at the back. Unfortunately, the D750 doesn't have it. However, when you got your D750, you should have got this little tiny viewfinder cover with it. It's a little bit of a pain to take off your normal viewfinder cover and put that one on, but it does the job. And you've got to watch these because you can lose them so easily. The beautiful thing with this shot at the moment, the rain is just starting to fall over top of this mountain peak here. I've got the long exposure happening and I've got the storm cloud coming through. In the foreground over the left here, I've got my stick that's just sitting in the water, and I've got this like weedy type foreground, which, well, I think is actually going to come up all right. Now, the great thing about doing a long exposure as well is it's a little bit windy here, but I've actually got rid of all the ripples in the water here. So it's a much more cleaner landscape image. So I guess while I'm getting this long exposure shot, let's talk about the D750. When it came out, it was a very popular camera. It was great for video, it was great for stills, fantastic sensor in low light. In terms of video autofocus, not the best. It's all right if you use it in manual, but you know, in today's standards, you've got the likes of the Z6, the Z6 II, that are both fantastic cameras. I've used the Z6 II, so why would you go for a D750 in something like today's market? I guess at the end of the day, you've got to look at budget. And it really depends on the type of budget that you've got when it comes to buying a camera. This camera is a full frame camera. A lot of people have been affected by the pandemic. They lost jobs, or the hours that they had working as a freelancer, putting their hand up here, may have been cut back. And, you know, there's not a lot of money floating out there. So, you know, people have got to look for a nice camera or a good, decent camera that isn't going to break their bank. Now, you can pick up this second-hand, like these D750s, you can pick up a good model for under $1,000 Australian here. The dynamic range out of this camera is fantastic, and you'll see that when I show the shot at the end of this video. You'll see the shot here. I'll show you what it looks like straight out of camera, and I'll show you how I bring back the foreground through the dynamic range and post-processing. But yeah, look, if you've got a D750, do you upgrade? Look, it really depends on you. If you've got the money, sure, why not? Go for something like the Nikon Z6 II. But it still is a fantastic camera. The D750, I mean, look at this camera I've got here. Hardly ever use it. It hasn't got a scratch or a mark on it. I can't really bring myself to sell it when I've got a perfectly operational camera doing everything I need it to do. Now, if you already own a D750 and you're getting fantastic results with it, I guess you don't have to upgrade. If you're happy with it, this is the main thing. If you're happy with the results that you're getting out of your camera, it doesn't matter if it's a D750, I don't care if you've got a Canon 5D Mark IV or a Sony a7 III. If you're happy with the camera that you've got, don't ever let anyone tell you that you've got a wrong camera or anything like that. Photography, realistically, is a journey of enjoyment. And if you get enjoyment out of your camera, doesn't matter what make it is, isn't that the main thing? Well guys, I've had a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. I can see that storm is coming now, so I'm going to pack up very quickly and move on. As I always say, never stop creating, and I'll see you next time.